Welcome back to Achieving Optimal. In this episode, I want to talk to you about gratitude. In fact, I want to pound you with gratitude. I want to coach you up on gratitude. You may recall from the last episode, we talked about finishing the year strong, and there were 4 strategies, and one of them was gratitude, because if you finish the year with lots of gratitude, if you really get immersed in gratitude as you're heading toward the end of the year, it gives you lots of momentum going forward. So specifically in today's lesson, I want to talk about the gratitude mindset. And so a quote that I love that'll be a great foundation to what we're going to be talking about comes from the missionary and physician Albert Schweitzer. And he said, "The greatest thing is to give thanks for everything. He who has learned this knows what it means to live. He has penetrated the whole mystery of life, giving thanks for everything." It's very, very powerful, and it kind of undergirds the whole idea of Thanksgiving. So before we get started, I want to do what I do in my workshops, which is get your mind ready to hear what I'm going to talk about so you can process it and take action on it. I like to use questions a lot. So right now I'm going to raise a few questions. You may want to come back and jot these down or give them more reflection time, but I'm going to reel them off pretty quickly, and you can think about them, and whatever comes to your mind, comes to your mind. And I think it'll be helpful. It'll shift you on the continuum toward gratitude, toward appreciation. It'll move you mentally in more of a grateful headspace, and that's important. So number one, what is positive and unique about your family? What's positive and unique about your family? Next, what are 3 of your best memories from your first year with your spouse? If that applies, of course. What is the most magnificent goal you have already accomplished? I love that one. What's the most magnificent goal you have already accomplished? This one's kind of funny. What parts of your body tend to work really well most of the time? In what ways has God shown His grace in your life recently? What is the nicest compliment that you've received in the last month? What is the most valuable lesson that you've learned in the last week? How about this one? This goes a different direction. What is the most beautiful thing you've seen in the last week? What's an old crisis or a rough situation from the past that now in retrospect has turned out to be a blessing or benefited you in some way? And then this is cool. What is the number one thing that you're going to be grateful for this time next year? All right, so now your mind should be ready. Let's talk a little bit more about mindset, because I want to talk about the gratitude mindset. Let's look at the word mindset a little bit. Very simply, mindset is the X factor. It's what determines what you do with your natural talent. You kind of have your natural talent, you have your mindset, and when those things are multiplied against each other, you've got your full potential. So we really want to always work on your mindset. It includes your beliefs, your attitudes, your assumptions, your expectations that you hold about yourself and life. It's really how you choose to approach life. And we want it to be where your mindset becomes a habitual net gain for you, where it multiplies your talent, it multiplies your work ethic, and absolutely does not do the reverse. We want to get away from that. So remember this about mindset. When you upgrade your mindset, you upgrade your life. Now, a lot of what I'm going to be talking about sounds very similar to the 4:8 principle in Philippians 4:8. Remember, that's where the Apostle Paul said, I'm going to put it in modern day terms, but he said, focus on the good stuff. Specifically, he said, finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is lovely, pure, true, gracious, just, if there's any excellence or anything worthy of praise, dwell on these things. But it's really focus on the good stuff. And that's a lot of what gratitude is about. But if we break gratitude down, let's break it down into 3 pieces or 3 components, because one is something that we're very accustomed to, is probably what we think of as gratitude, but it's the other 2 where I think we have a lot of room to grow. All of us have a lot of room to grow. So gratitude, first of all, is a feeling. It's a sense of joy, a sense of appreciation after somebody gives you something or after you have been blessed in some way. It's just very simple. And you say thank you and you feel good about it and that kind of thing. It's a positive emotional feeling. The second element, or really the second way to think about gratitude, is that it's a capacity, meaning it's a skill, it's something that you can learn. You get better with it through exercising some mental discipline, through practicing it, through repetition. And that's what I'm going to push you toward is getting away from this idea that you're born somehow with gratitude, or you're born an ingrate or anything like that. You've got a lot of room for improvement. I have a lot of room for improvement. And then the third thing that I think is important to understand about gratitude is that it's a choice. It's a choice. It's a conscious and deliberate decision to focus on what's working versus what is broken. Now, in 1 Thessalonians, we're told to rejoice always, to pray continually, to give thanks in all circumstances. I mean, that's a tall order. And we're told at the end of that verse that we should do that because that's God's will for us. And so that's a lot of the motivation for me. It doesn't mean we're grateful for everything or every crummy circumstance that we may be in from time to time, but it means that we're to still express gratitude for what we do have, even in the tough times. So aside from the obvious, why is gratitude so important? Well, it's really the master attitude. You've heard of the rhyme, an attitude of gratitude. Well, everything flows from this master attitude. And so if you've got gratitude, you've got enough raw material to develop all the other kind of aspects of your mindset that you would like. So gratitude shapes how you see the world. When you're grateful, you see a different world than if you take things for granted and you're an ingrate. Gratitude makes your relationships better, right? I mean, who wants to live with somebody or work with somebody that never says thank you or is an ingrate or never expresses appreciation or points out your strengths? Nobody would like that. Gratitude, we know, affects your health. It's also in sync with biblical principles. So this is the truth. And so you probably know this, and hopefully I'm bringing this to your awareness a little bit better. But if gratitude is this good, as I like to say, if gratitude is so special, why isn't everybody doing gratitude at the highest level? And I think there's kind of one big answer, and that is that it's so easy to get caught up and swept up in things, especially today. We get caught up in the noise, right? We get caught up in our devices. There's constant distractions. One of the things is an overexposure to the news media, really any media, but especially the news. The news is so negative. It's constantly reminding you of what's broken and missing and deficient and what's not working and how terrible things are and the crisis and the storms and all that. We need to know a little bit about what's going on. We need more material for our prayer life, so to speak, but we don't need to inundate ourselves with it. Just like we can overindulge with food, we can overindulge with wine, we can overindulge in the media too. And arguably, overindulging in the media in things that you put in your mind can do more damage than the food or drink. So we've got to be real picky about what we expose ourselves to. Another barrier or block to gratitude is the oh me attitude. Like, oh me. It's like whiners and people that think that they're deserving of something that they haven't earned, or that are so upset that life is not fair. Well, it's kind of crazy. Life isn't fair and you got to get over it. Worry and negative forecasting, those are really the same thing. I like to use the term negative forecasting when I'm talking about worry, because that's really what worry is. It's when you get upset about something that you fear is going to happen, but you hope won't. And so your hope says something good is going to happen, but your fear says, I think something bad is going to happen. But anyway, when you get in that worry state, it's the fear of something that you don't want to have happen that wins out. So you can't really have a chronic state of worry and gratitude at the same time. But the good news is the more grateful you are, the more appreciative you are, the more you will displace the negativity that we call worry. Then there's consumerism and materialism. I mean, I love buying things. You probably love buying things. But sometimes we can get so focused on just getting one more thing. If we just get one more thing, then our life's going to be perfect. And really, the more things that we buy, there's a good, there's an observation that a lot of people have that the more material possessions we have, the harder time we have experiencing true gratitude for being alive, for some of the intangible blessings that are all around us, especially relationships. And then finally, is scarcity. When we think there's not enough, to go around, that if you have something, a good blessing, then I don't get it. Or if you get a piece of the pie, I can't have it, as opposed to the abundance mentality that I believe in, that I see working throughout my life and my client's life. So with a abundance mentality, you're naturally more grateful. And I think there's one last one that trumps everything else, and that is lack of connection with the Creator. In other words, if you don't have a good relationship with God, if you're not connected with God through your prayer life and through study and so forth, it's real easy, because of that disconnection, to lose that sense of natural gratitude that we would ordinarily have. So now that that's a kind of a good setup, I want you to think maybe a little bit differently about gratitude. Two levels of it. One, we see all around us, maybe not enough of it, but we see it and we practice it, and probably our parents ingrained it into us when we were growing up. And so that is what I call routine gratitude. Routine gratitude it's minimal gratitude, it is basic, it is elementary. It's the reactive thank you. When the person in the drive-thru hands you your food and you grab it and you say thank you, that kind of thing. Somebody holds the door for you and you say thank you very much. Or maybe it's when you hear about somebody else's misfortune and you feel a sense of relief. Wow, I'm glad that didn't happen to me. That's routine gratitude. There's nothing wrong with it. It's awesome. But it's kind of level one. And some people never elevate to level two. And that's really what I want to push and promote today, is what I call exceptional gratitude. It's proactive, it's intentional, it's detailed. You dig a little deeper to look for the subtleties in life that you really appreciate. It's relationship focused. And most importantly, it doesn't require something to be missing before it's appreciated. We appreciate things before they go away. So what I want as your major takeaway from today's lesson is I want you to practice gratitude. I don't want you to just know about it. I want you to practice it. And so the fast track to living a 4-8 principle life, the fast track to focusing on the good stuff in your life, is also the fast track to gratitude. But it is a discipline, and as we've talked about, and it's also a practice, something you got to do over and over again, because it's the repetition that makes it second nature for you. So think now, we often think of blessings or being grateful. We think of it as what's going on in our life right now that we're grateful for. Who are the people in our life that we're grateful for? And that is great. Sometimes we look backwards and we think, gratitude is about the things that have happened in our life that we're grateful for. But I really want it to be a three-way perspective: past, present, and future. Things you're grateful for about maybe when you grew up, maybe a year ago, maybe 10 years ago. Things you're grateful for in the current moment, today, this hour. And then the cool one is to stretch a little bit and practice becoming grateful for things that you anticipate and look forward to and have faith are going to come to fruition in your life. So that's what I want to push you to do. In order to do that, it doesn't just happen. So you need to develop the habits of gratitude, And I want to share a few with you. They're not the only, habits of gratitude, but they're the basics, the fundamentals. And so your prayer life, obviously expressing gratitude as much as you can and thanksgiving as much as you can in your prayer life. Then this is low-hanging fruit, blessing and grace at mealtime, that kind of thing. Journaling, okay, we're getting a little bit deeper. We're having to keystroke or write out the things that we're grateful for, which really impresses them deeper. Writing handwritten notes, this is kind of a rare thing these days. So when you do it, it stands out in somebody else's mind. But, I don't want you to do it for that reason. I want you to do it for the effect that it will have for you. I've got a number of clients that during their early morning success ritual, or what I call their EMSR, they write a thank you note. And they're not, they want to do it for that person, but that's not really why they're doing it. They're doing it mainly for the benefit that it will have to their psyche and in their spiritual life, and that's very important. You can write thank you emails, thank you texts, make a thank you phone call. Could you make a thank you phone call once a day? How about once a week? And then this is a good one. Public acknowledgement of others, of their efforts, especially their excellence, is really, really powerful. So this could mean team members at work, but it could also mean publicly acknowledging your children or spouse, and not like, with a billboard necessarily, but just in the presence of other people, even one other person, letting them hear your appreciation with an audience is powerful. All right, this is some more low-hanging fruit. You could just make a decision that is part of your self-management. You're going to practice gratitude, rehearse your blessings while you're in the shower, maybe the first minute or two of the shower, first minute or two of a workout, maybe first minute or two of a commute. I mean, you could do more. I know people that will go for a gratitude walk. I think that is very, very powerful to go for a gratitude walk where all you do is rehearse your blessings, or you go for a gratitude run. So there are some universal blessings that also are worth remembering. And by universal, I mean we all have them. These aren't specific to just me or you, but we all have them. God's love, our bodies, our brains, sunshine and the rain, forests and deserts, mountains, beaches, freedom in all form, the relationships we have in our life. I mean, we go on and on, but these are the things that everybody has that we can express gratitude for, but we may take those things for granted, and that will chip away at our gratitude. So one of the best ways, I've kind of alluded to it before, one of the best ways to lift up your gratitude is to make sure that the first 15 minutes of every day includes some times remembering all the things that you're thankful for. This is not just a Thanksgiving Day in November kind of exercise. This is something where you could do this all the time. It's what I'm encouraging you to do during that first 15 minutes where you're reviewing your goals, you're maybe reading something that is inspirational, or you're reading the Bible or doing a devotion. Those kinds of things. Include a gratitude segment. The second best time would be the final 15 minutes before you go to bed. So you kind of bookend your day, start your day with gratitude, end your day with gratitude, and why not? Why not have gratitude, like 1 minute of gratitude on your way back from lunch before you restart your workday? It's very, very powerful. So one thing that I like to do, I'm going back to the 4-8 principle now, because this really boosts the gratitude, and especially if you do it day after day after day, there's kind of a cumulative effect to it, or a compound effect, but is to ask what I call I label these questions the 4-8 questions, because they shift your focus to where it ought to be. So number one, what am I grateful for? What am I grateful for? You could add a number to that, such as, what are 5 things I'm grateful for? What are my strengths? What are my recent victories? You could put a time frame on that. What are my recent victories in the last month or the last year? Who are the 5 people that really love me and that I really love? Or you could just Say, who are the people that I love the most? How about what am I excited about and looking forward to in the next week, in the next month, in the next quarter, in the next year? So we're shifting your attention toward something that is really, really powerful, especially if it becomes a habit. So I had an Albert Schweitzer quote to kick us off, and as we're moving through this lesson, I want to share another passage that is very, very powerful from Thomas Merton, and it goes like this: to be grateful is to recognize the law of God in everything He has given us, and He has given us everything. Every breath we draw is a gift of His love. Every moment of existence is a grace, for it brings with it immense graces from Him. Gratitude, therefore, takes nothing for granted, is never unresponsive, is constantly awakening to new wonder and praise of the goodness of God. For the grateful person knows that God is good, and not by hearsay, but by experience. And that is what makes all the difference. I've got that quote. Not only did I put it in the 4-8 principle, but I've got it as a part of my early morning success rituals materials where I can look at it and review it along with some other inspirational quotes over and over again. So now I want to put you on a Thanksgiving binge, okay, that does not involve food, but this is a binge that is very, very healthy for your mindset, very, very healthy for your emotional life. I'm going to give you some thought stimulators to turbocharge your gratitude. Most of these have come to me from clients over the years, and I've captured them and documented them, and now they can be yours. And so I'm going to reel them off really quickly. You might want to come back and write these down, but if you're doing something else, you can just listen to them and let them sink in. But look out for the idea. I want you to be on the lookout for the idea that will work for you. All right, number 1, at night, count your blessings silently as you drift off to sleep. Why count sheep, right? When you can count your blessings. Count your blessings as you lie in bed right when the alarm clock goes off, okay? Journal your blessings for 3 minutes, or you could say 2 minutes immediately after waking up in the morning. Make a list of what you expect to be thankful for 10 years from now. I love that one. I make my clients do that over and over and over again. Before grace at mealtime, discuss specific things that you're grateful for. That just adds another dynamic there. All right, let's do some more ways. Every day, send a brief thank you or email. We mentioned this before. This is huge. It can be real simple. Leave a mini thank you notes around the house or in your business environment. Leave quick thank you notes wherever people that are important to you can see them. How about this? Brainstorm. Make a list of 21 things you're grateful for and meditate on that list from time to time or during your EMSR. You could journal your blessings. You could do it in the morning, like we said, but you could also do it at night before getting into bed. You could pick the amount of time. Is it 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes? All right, let's keep going. Let's have some more ways. You go the extra mile to help somebody who's helped you. That makes you grateful. Whenever you can get out of your own concerns, it's very, very powerful because you're less selfish. You become less selfish, and when you become less selfish, you become more grateful. You could ask God, just go straight to the source and ask God for a greater sense of awe and appreciation in your days. You could create fun surprises or little rewards for those that you appreciate. What gets rewarded tends to get repeated, right? You could ask the important people in your life what makes them feel appreciated. I think that's very powerful. Maybe this might sound a little weird, but you could just repeat an affirmation. I'm so blessed, I'm so blessed, I'm so blessed. Some people are kind of cursing themselves over and over again, or they're knocking themselves, belittling themselves. Just say, I'm so blessed, or something similar to that. You could thank someone belatedly for their help, encouragement, or assistance that they provided in the past. Think about this. Think about somebody that you never did get around to sending that thank you note or an email or sending a gift to. Just go ahead and do it now. You could give yourself a special treat, or you could give somebody else a special treat to express appreciation. Maybe this is a present, maybe a present for yourself or a present for someone close to you, just as a thank you, and make sure that you write the thank you on there. could show gratitude for a particular loved one as if it was your last opportunity to do so. Don't want to be morbid there, but life is not forever. So take the time that you have to show appreciation. You could itemize all the possessions. This is kind of a weird one. You could itemize all the possessions in one room of your house and thank God for the things that you have, and the things that you're not so grateful for, throw them away or give them away. There's more. You could discuss with a good friend some of the things that you used to want, but now you're glad you don't have. I mean, that's a pretty awesome question, isn't it? Discuss with a good friend some of the things that you used to want, but now you don't want, and you're glad you don't have them. You could greet everyone when you first meet them, or you run across them for the day or whatever. You could greet everyone with the type of smile you'd exhibit if you had just received great news. That's powerful, and it'll become a habit for you. You could write a previous teacher or coach or professor or employer a note thanking them for what you appreciate about them. It doesn't matter how long ago it was, trust me. You could show extreme gratitude for your own physical well-being and all the things that are good about your body, all the things that you like. You could take extra care of your body for, let's say, 72 hours, or maybe it's 48 hours. I mean, be really picky and sensitive and treat yourself like you're a miracle, like your body's a temple of God. And just by taking better care of yourself, you're going to be more grateful. You could say a quick prayer of thanks for, I really love this one, for all the things in your life that don't need fixing. That's pretty powerful, right? So are you stuffed? How's that? I feel kind of stuffed. There's so many ideas for being grateful, being appreciative, being thankful, that I want you to not just be inspired. I hope you're inspired, but I want you to take action and do something else that you haven't been doing to boost your gratitude. Remember, the most important thing you can do from a gratitude standpoint is appreciate the most important people in your life. Think about it. When something appreciates, financially, when it appreciates, it increases in value. And when you appreciate other people, when you express gratitude and thanksgiving for the impact they are having or have had in your life, when you appreciate them, it increases, their value increases in your mind, and your value increases in your eyes. It's a win-win-win all the way around. So this is my challenge to you. Make everyday Thanksgiving. Make everyday Thanksgiving, because your success and your gratitude blesses others.